Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. For those who don't know me, I'm Kieron and I read law. I'm a first year student at Homerton College, Cambridge. At the time of recording this, it's less than 2 months away from my exams. So what I thought I would do is talk about, first of all, how I'm revising for my exams, but also give some advice as well, because I know many of you might have exams coming up from A-levels to GCSEs. So I thought it would be a good time to do a video. So I hope this video is going to help. Let's get started. So for me, like I said, I'm studying law, and I've got 4 exams at the end of May. Criminal law, tort law, civil law and constitutional law. Civil law being the law at the time of the Romans. And one of the first things that I've been doing is consolidating my notes. And I did this also when I was preparing for my mocks back in January, and I'm doing the same here for my main exams. And what that's involved is basically going back through my notes that I made for my supervisions and the notes that I made during lectures and bring that together into one document. And the idea is that everything's in one place essentially, and that's been helpful for me, because then I can look at what I'm missing when I go on to do some further reading, but also having everything in place to then transfer aspects of that when I do my revision tools. Second thing that I've been doing is filling in the gaps. So I mentioned further reading there. And so for example, with supervisions we get work set often beforehand, and that includes reading for the supervision, so like reading the main cases and the main articles that the supervisor wants you to look at for the supervision, but it also includes further reading. And we don't have to do that for the supervision, but we are expected to look at that and obviously make sure that we have those articles and cases. So I've been looking, once I've got everything consolidated, looking through what I need to do further research on and downloading that and reading through that. I've thirdly been making revision tools, and for me I've done some tables online and Word documents, and that basically has, for example for criminal law, it has all of the key cases on, has the legal principles, the legislation, all in one place for each of the topics. Fourthly, which I'm doing at the moment, is I'm going through the topics. I'm starting to read through the topics, looking at the information, looking at the cases, but also testing myself as well. So for example, at the time of recording, I've just been going through non-fatal offences for criminal law, and what I've been doing is testing myself on the cases. So I've put my notes, tried to put my notes to one side and just testing on, see what I can remember based on what I've just revised. And that's helping me to obviously remember the cases and remember those key principles and key ideas and areas of the law. So I'm obviously in the process of doing that, and I'll be continuing on doing that up until the exams. And fifthly, I've started to look at exam questions and looking at, I did this for my mocks, and obviously I'm doing it again for my real exams. So I'm looking at the questions, looking at how they're styled, looking at, and just seeing, for example, in the problem question, actually I'll show you, this is an example of, this is the past paper that I've printed off, this is for criminal law, and for criminal law we have to answer 2 essay questions and 2 problem questions. So what I've been doing, for example, when I looked at the problem questions, is being able to see how well am I able to identify the issues that come up in that problem question. So is there an issue of what offences have been committed? Is there an issue of accessorial liability, incoherent liability? Just being able to see how well I can identify, and then obviously being able to think about the cases, the relevant cases that I need to use, and what my opinion is. Can I apply this case to the scenario, and does it determine, making conclusions upon that. So I'm obviously in the process of doing that as well. So that's what I've been personally doing. My first advice would probably be to, when it comes to like revision tools, have something that's suitable for you. Each of us, learns in different ways, and each of us takes in information in different ways. So if you prefer flashcards, but your friend prefers, diagrams, or prefers flowcharts, or prefers, like me, like some kind of like table on a Word document, that's fine, because each person is different. So think of a revision tool that works for you. And sometimes that might be a bit of experimenting and seeing how, what form works for you. But my advice would probably just to have your own, what style of revision that works for you. So have that your own revision tool that works for your type of learning and what's going to help you the most. That's what you want. You want a revision tool or revision form that's going to help you the most. Second advice is do exam practice, because you can learn everything from you can learn all of the law, for instance, as I'm studying, but what's going to help you in the exams is being able to practice exam questions, because not only are you testing your understanding, but you're testing your skills of timing as well, so practicing doing it under time conditions as you will have for the exams, but also you're testing your skills and you're being able to answer essay questions, for instance, or answering problem questions. Whatever kinds of questions you get for your exam, it's giving you the opportunity to test your skills. But also it's important not just to do the exam and just put it to one side afterwards. I think I've done managed to do one, but it's also marking it as well. So you need to try and that's difficult. I know for me it's difficult sometimes to mark your own work because you can be a bit biased on yourself, but you've got to be harsh on yourself, and you've got to just look at what have you done well. Praise yourself on what you've done well, but also look at look at the examiner's report. Look at if you have like an answer scheme available, look at that afterwards, and just look at where could have improved. My other bit of advice would be to maybe have a timetable for revision. For me, I've recently put a timetable together using my phone. So I've got I'm going to do this. I'm going to study this topic for this set of time, and then I'm going to take a break. Then I'm going to study this topic, and then again have a break. And I think it's important to have some kind of timetable in place, because that helps to be organised. And if you can be organised, that might help you to be certainly for me, it's helped to be a lot more focused on my revision and making sure that I'm not getting too distracted or procrastinating too much. Although procrastination is okay, but just I guess at least having a timetable there is going to help you to be a little more focused. And obviously, you'll have other things on, and you alter accordingly. And I just want to make the point also, and this is probably a good important advice, is take breaks. You can't revise constantly. You can't revise for every single hour of every single day. You've got to take breaks and just do other things. If you've got if someone's invited you out for something, just if you're able to go and take part in that. It is important to revise hard, and obviously I'm going to be revising as best as I can. But I know also that at the end of the day, we've got to have our rest. We've got to do other things as well. So that's important, and always just remember that. And and also remember as I'm going to get closer, and as you might be getting closer to exams, the stress might be starting to increase if it hasn't already. And just remember, it's easier said than done, and I know that, but try and stay calm. Remember, first of all, you're not on your own. There'll be your fellow classmates, your fellow friends who will be studying and preparing for exams as well. And so you can help each other if you're doing the same subject, or just be there for each other, and they'll appreciate that, and you'll appreciate that as well, because then you're not you just realise that you're not on your own, and there's people who can help. My supervisors have said if I've got any questions, I can email them. So you're not on your own. If you're not sure about something when you're revising for it and you still don't understand it, that's okay. Just ask ask someone in the year above who studied that subject, or ask your friends. If not, ask your teachers. There's people that you can contact to get things sorted, for them to come and help you in some way. So just remember that when you get close to those exams, just make sure that you are getting good night's sleep, making sure that you are keeping yourself healthy as well, because that's important, and not just having a healthy mind, but also having a healthy body as well, because that's important. Those little bits of things might seem small compared to the exam, but everything helps. Every little bit helps for that final exam. Keeping hydrated, things like that, and just remember that everything's not lost. Whatever happens in the exam, everything is not lost. I remember when I was doing my A-levels, and I was so worried about what happens if it fails, or what happens if it goes wrong. because obviously I'd applied for Cambridge, and I was determined to try and get the grades I needed. But I was told by my friends, and I was saying to myself, there'll be, it's not the end of the world if everything, goes wrong. You've got to be calm, because if you start worrying too much, that's going to make the situation worse. And it is easier said than done. But being calm and just being optimistic as well is important. And because if you have the good frame of mind as well, then that can help you with those exams. And when you get into that exam, there's nothing more you can do. I hope that's helped. If you've got any questions, do put it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer any questions, any concerns or worries about exams, because we all worry. We all worry. We are human at the end of the day. So just put any question. I'll try and help as much as I can. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you have, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. And you can check out my videos and my vlogs here. And I hope I can see you all in the next video.